Welcome to a special edition of the Ladbrokes Lab for the fourth running of the All-Star Mile. Cam, wonderful concept, fascinating race.
It most certainly is, and back at headquarters as well, where it started a few years ago, the mile at Flemington. Hamo, talk to me.
Yeah, rail out 8 metres. Now, that's a little bit of a watch in some races. I don't think it's a concern as far as the pattern of racing goes here. And the 1,600 metres is a fair start. Normally, you wouldn't talk a lot about the barrier draws, but everyone was after this draw, Cam.
And this is what happens in big races. The barrier draw and everything gets in hands, and it was no different on Tuesday.
You had the extremes, and we'll look at them in a moment, but here's our Ladbrokes slot runner, our wildcard runner, Sierra Sue. Interesting from that draw. I want your take on it in just a moment, but these extremes they're talking about. Zaaki, the favourite, the outside, and your boy, the one you've got a crush on. Barrier 1.
I know, I'll get to that very soon.
Isn't it worst possible draw?
It is. I'm worried about him. I've got no worry about Sierra Sue. I'll explain in a moment. I've got even less worries about Zaaki, which I'll now get to when we get to the settle grid. Fire, Hamo, what do you want me to tell you?
Well, I want to know about the pace, because I think that's crucial, and we'll get to that in a moment. But you've got Zaaki from the wide draw, Inspirational Girl drawn well, and our girl Sierra Sue from a wide draw as well. Where do they get to?
All right, Call Sign Mab will lead. A little bit of a different tactic. Was on the pace last week rather than the Australian Cup, but not a strong 2,000 metre runner. More of a miler will lead. Lightsaber, great in Australian Guineas up there as well. Streets of Avalon will be there. Tofane will be on the pace somewhere as well. But Zaaki, I've got no concerns from that gate. Jamie Carr in the seat. The similar situation as to what we've been able to see with him. Just make him comfortable. The only time we've seen him get beat in Melbourne last year, he wasn't comfy, he was pulling, he was reefing. So just let him cruise on. I think there'll be enough pace on here where you might be able to sit right in behind Lightsaber. I'm excited because I want to see Zaaki at some point present. It might be at the 800, it might be at the 400, but at some point Jamie Carr will get the big boy rolling. Now, Inspirational Girl, Damian Lane got the perfect draw, and she's a horse that's really flexible. Probably ridden a little closer in the Blamey when she won the race to get into the All-Star Mile, and from that perfect gate, can get his track up the pace, probably sit on the outside of Mr. Brightside here. Sierra Sue, I mentioned it, I like this gate. She's a horse that doesn't want to be crowded. When she's won her big... Remarkably, she won a Mildura Cup in the middle of last year and come down the outside running rail. She likes to be on the outside of horses. Johnny Allen will start to fire her up. So he can really put her wherever he wants, on the back of wherever he wants to put her. If he comes in here behind King Magnus, if it's right next to Pinstripe, Johnny Allen won't get her 3 wide. So I like that draw for her. I don't like this draw. I want to be transparent. I've had a futures bet in the Ladbrokes Cox Plate and the All-Star Mile, and I'm Thunderstruck, and you'll see my plays certainly shortly, but I don't know what they're going to do. If John McNeil can get off the fence at some point, I don't know, because he's going to be rattling home, but that is by far the biggest question mark. Is the money for I'm Thunderstruck? Where is the cash at Ladbrokes?
Interestingly, there has been good support for him because Zaaki's been a drifter, 3 out to 340. I'm Thunderstruck's firmed into $6. Inspirational Girl stays the same. And then there's a couple at odds. Tofane's had a bit of support, as has Lightsaber. And down to our girl, I think she's good value, Sierra Sue at $21. Who are you tipping?
Well, firstly, that is well and truly overs. The Ladbrokes punters, the market never finds her, and then she runs a bottler every time she goes out in a big race. I have had a futures bet on Thunderstruck, but I think the race is going to suit Zaaki a little bit more. I'm Thunderstruck will be better later in the autumn than Zaaki in this race. Lightsaber is Australian Guineas outstanding. I'm only 3 out of 5 because the barrier draw flattened me more than I think anyone else in the country. What do you got, Hamo?
Yeah, I'm going to go Inspirational Girl. I know the weights are against her, but she's unbeaten over the mile, and I think she's going to posse in a beautiful spot to be very, very strong late here. I'm actually going to go on an each-way basis of 4 out of 5.
Sierra Sue?
I think she's a top 5 chance. If she can get a cosy run and just run the mile out strongly, that's going to be the key. But are you with Zaaki, the favourite for the All-Star Mile, or against him? Leave it in the comments below.